So I think everyone is pretty much aware that Rolex and Omega watches cost tens of thousands of pounds. Now what if I told you you can actually buy an Omega watch for £300 and it's not an Omega Moonswatch? It's something that actually deserves the Omega logo. Before we get into it and check this watch out, leave a like and drop a subscribe. It will be greatly appreciated and really help the channel out. So vintage Omega pieces can cost a bunch of different price tags. Of course you do have your more expensive models, and anything in really good condition is going to cost a bit more money. I want to solely focus on the Omega Geneva, specifically pieces from around the 1960s to 70s. Now you might think that these watches will be super expensive, and if you buy them from an authorized dealer or from a grey market dealer or even from like a high street store, these watches are going to be pretty expensive, and that's because people can 100% authenticate them. They can restore them completely, fix any dials or imperfections, polish them up, and basically put life back into these watches. However, if you do your research and go over to eBay, you can search Omega Geneva watches, and there's a ton of different price points that pop up. Now I'm kind of giving away my secret to everybody here. This is my next watch that I aim to buy, so although I do hope that this video does go viral and we get some decent views, I also don't want everyone in the UK to go and snap up all the vintage Omega watches, otherwise there won't be any to buy. Now I actually think these watches look super classy, and when they are in pretty good condition, there's not much difference between one of these watches and a modern Speedmaster. Of course they do normally have a leather bracelet, but I think that's totally fine. I'm a big fan of watches with leather bracelets or rubber straps. A lot of people say they have a bit more of a dressier look, and I think that is obviously true, as that was just the style of watches back in the day, but I'm a big fan of these timepieces, and I think they can be pretty much put with any outfit you have. Now they're also very functional. There are a lot of automatic watches, and they also come in a bunch of different variations. We have automatic versions of the watch, and we also have quartz versions, but they're just a really solid timepiece to pick up for the price tag. I don't think you're going to find anything better around the £300 price point if you're just getting into luxury watches. You do have to be super careful if you're going to buy one of these watches from eBay, as I'm guessing there's a ton of fakes floating around there, so you need to know how to authenticate them or know someone who can authenticate them for you at a decent price point and sell them to you guys. Now it's not going to cost anywhere near the high street store prices. Anyways, enough grifting. These timepieces are seriously underrated. I think there's a big buzz around vintage watches in 2024. They're definitely making a comeback, and I think they're becoming a lot more popular as a lot more young people jump into the watch market and start buying their first watch. Not everyone can afford a Rolex or Omega, however everyone does want one, so to be able to pick one up for around £300 is pretty insane. There's also some vintage Rolex watches that you can pick up underneath £1,000, so if you want us to make a video on that in the future, leave a like as well. We can go so deep into the vintage watch rabbit hole and check out a bunch of different models and variations that you can buy, but by just going that little bit further and doing the research to authenticate a watch, you'll be able to pick one up from eBay instead of paying an inflated price point to someone else. You'll be able to save yourself a lot of money, and it's actually quite fun to research watches if you're thinking about buying one. You get to learn how the watch was made, what movement is inside of it, and how it actually ticks, and you can also be rest assured that your watch is going to be real. I think it's something everyone should consider, and this is a different type of video from us. We've never put something out like this before. We do try and upload daily and just review watches in general, but I thought we'd share some of our inside tips on how to pick up a luxury watch for under £300. If you found the video useful, why don't you share it around with your friends, subscribe and like for more.